Hello, it's Tom again. Today's video is me telling you I was wrong. Um, I did a hot take regarding Archie Bunker, and you know, thing about hot takes is you're not going to get everything right. It's off the cuff. And yeah, there were some comments on YouTube that disagreed with me aggressively. Whatever. They were kind of bizarre too. Also, there were comments that I can't read, so I imagine the people who left those comments blocked me? Whatever. I did get a comment from somebody I actually care about and listen to, not on YouTube, but, outside of this particular setting. And they reminded me about a bit of subtext in the show that I had missed. So let's go through some of this a bit. People are trying to tell me that this was a great show, and they're right. I never said it wasn't. It was extremely well written. Um, let's see. The character of Archie Bunker. I called him a buffoon, racist, alcoholic, and I said casually cruel. Basically, he was a bully. I left out he was misogynistic too. Um, so yeah, I didn't get that part wrong. Let's see. What else? When I said he's the buffoon, I actually mean that as the character archetype. The story is about Archie Bunker and the things surrounding him. He is the protagonist. Your archetype for your protagonist is like the hero, the anti hero, the villain, so forth. In this case, they went with buffoon and a bit of scoundrel. Um, why do that? Because they want us to relate to the character, they want to gently ease it. This really goes into the long term storyline. Even though it was kind of like a situation of the week show, the thing is, there's no side character dedicated to comic relief because the protagonist was the comedy. He was the joke. Like, get a load of this guy. Can you believe this dinosaur is still running around acting like this in this day and age? And that was in 1971. And he would dig his heels in, act like a jerk. His family and friends and neighbors would try to get him to be a little bit better, and he'd dig his heels in. And he'd learn a hard lesson sometimes at the end of the show. Bad things would happen to him, we'd laugh, and sometimes he'd learn a lesson. And it would seem like the next week or the next episode, that lesson was gone. Like he completely forgot what happened. And that's kind of how that goes when you're dealing with an alcoholic or anybody dealing with, a codependency problem. It's not an easy or quick process. That goes for dealing with somebody who grew up believing, you know, certain racist things and sexist things. You don't fix that crap overnight. Number two, you can't fix another person. They have to want to change. They have to put the work in and they have to learn hard lessons along the way. Um, and the thing is, from 1971, when the show All in the Family began, to I think 9 or 10 years later, when Archie Bunker's place wrapped, he went from being the bigot, alcoholic, bully, misogynist to having a black woman as his best friend over the course of 10 years. Um, it's a very slow progression, it's a very slow change. The man did have redeeming qualities, and that's what it takes to have a good buffoon. It's not easy to write uh, a villain who's the butt of all the jokes and at the same time get people to uh, you know enjoy uh, that, tune in every week. I mean, the people who relate to being an alcoholic and a jerk and a racist, Yeah, they want to be like Archie Bunker. But the other people who are like, yeah, bad things keep happening to him, and we keep laughing at him. They also develop that connection to the character. For another example, modern day times, for the people who say you can't do that anymore, I would refer you to Jeff Dunham and the character Ahmed, the dead terrorist. People love him, though, nobody's gone so far as to say they want to be like Ahmed. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So for those who think I was being a social justice warrior, nah, I just spelled out what the show was. And I left out the part where the show was actually all about social justice. From the day one show where his family's just trying to get him to be better, to later on when Jefferson's mom smacked the taste out of his mouth because he used the word mammy. That's old timey racism, if you weren't aware. To the end of Archie Bunker's place, where suddenly he's best friends with a black woman. 10 years of hard lessons and people gently encouraging him to be better. Uh, might be a bit harder today, though, to get people to stick around for 10 years. Because, as I mentioned in my previous video, your partner can divorce you a lot easier today than they could in the 70s. Just because you're being a jerk, they can divorce you. And as much as the codependent family dynamic where alcoholics, will teach their children family must always stick together no matter what, which really means you must always come back to me no matter what. Yeah, that doesn't fly anymore. Because in this world, in this day and age, other people will teach your children that you will never, ever be better if they keep enabling you. The show is about social justice. Those lessons that Archie learned, most people aren't going to stick around to help you learn them anymore. They're just going to leave you behind. So, that's it. That's the end of the show.